Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Brittingham Talk Show right here on News Talk 1450 WILM News Radio.
News.
I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Charles Linwood Jackson. We call him Linwood for short. He's out and about. He's my man in the street. And we have a very special guest for you this morning. Linwood, tell us about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest today is a performer, singer, and songwriter with a new CD out right now. She's here to tell us about it. She's a recording artist, and she works with Now That's Entertainment. I want to thank Miss Shaila Coley for joining us today. How you doing today, Sheila?
Hi, I'm doing fine today. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I want to thank you for taking time out and coming on and joining us on today's program. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. How'd you get started?
Well, as a child, most people pretty much start when they're younger, right? Well, I started singing at about 6 years old, and my grandmother was the person that discovered that I could really sing and had a voice. So she would have me entertain all her friends.
Right.
And that's pretty much how it began from that point.
Showing you off in front of all her friends. Look, my grandbaby can sing.
Oh yeah, that's how it went, and I guess the shyness kind of went because I was getting paid for it.
There you go. It's amazing. We all stand up and sing in front of the mirror with some kind of hairbrush or comb, or our parents like that, or sometimes they get to tell a good joke, baby. Tell my friends the joke, And next thing you know, you got a career out of it. That's really great. That's wonderful.
That's true.
I know that's right. Now, Sheila, tell us a little bit about your latest CD.
Well, my latest CD is entitled Boundless. It was written by Rick Benning, the producer, with Fine Arts Records. It's more on a jazz side. That was something new that I tried to design. I do sing a lot of R&B music. He has some wonderful selection of songs on there. A few favorites. Shadows on the Wall was one of them, and Hard Times. And Hard Times kind of stuck with me because we all live in a time now where everyone's having some type of hard times, whether it's illness, financial, personal. We're all going through something, but we just got to keep pushing forward. And that's one of the reasons why I pretty much like one of those songs that was on that CD. And I'm working on something new now. I'm going back to the R&B, working with another producer, Nate Hall. And this time I'm actually writing pretty much most of all the songs on the CD.
Okay.
In collaboration with Nate.
Right, and you wrote, I thought you wrote all the songs on Boundless.
Well, on Boundless, no. I sang the songs on Boundless, but I didn't write all the songs on Boundless. I had a CD previously before that, and I did write those songs.
And what was the name of that CD?
Emotional Makeup.
Emotional Makeup. Man, yes. So how do you come up with your songwriting? How do you start off writing a song?
Well, a lot of times it's about what's going on in your life at the time, and then sometimes, like, I don't know if you ever wrote papers in school, you get writer's block. Sometimes you can't figure out what in the world to write, so you have standstills where at one moment you can't figure out what in the world I'm going to write. But a lot of times if you have something that's going on in your life at the time, and then sometimes things just come to you. I learned from Nate Hall. It was funny because he says, do you write these things down? You need to write things down, and and I said, I haven't really been writing anything down. And he says, well, I got a recorder now. So now what I do is when I think of something, I just put it down. And in that way, I don't forget it. Because I'd be like, oh, I thought of a song. And then you get into the studio, you can't remember the words or anything, the melody or anything of the song, So now I'm getting in the habit of doing more writing, keeping my notebook with me when I think of something, and I'm just writing things down, and it turns out to be a song.
Mm-hmm. Now,
whatever's going on.
Now, when you say writing things down, do you mean the old-fashioned way, like pen to paper, or are you talking like a tablet, a notebook, a computer type with a keyboard?
I'm talking about a pen, a piece of paper, my little notebook. I have my little notebook, my little red notebook that I carry around with me in my pocketbook.
So whenever the move hits you, that's when you do it. You pull it out and
That's it.
Yeah, that's good. Now,
whatever's going on my mind at the time, I just start writing.
You have to, because like I say, you can see something. You can see a bird fly a certain way or something. You can see anything that's strange that really comes out, and you can add the rest to it later. That's really wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you said you started singing at a young age. How old were you when you started writing? Oh.
Wow. I did like a little poetry, when I was a little younger, and I didn't really start writing until I did emotional makeup. And I really didn't think I had that gift, but I guess anyone can write when it comes to expressing your feelings on paper.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really think about it that way, but anyone can really just, put pen and, paper down and just write down whatever's feeling, whatever's in your heart. That's a song.
Now, have you so far been very successful with copywriting? Nobody's been trying to steal your works, have they?
No, I haven't had that problem.
Okay, so you protect yourself with all that, right? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that one of the general questions Linwood and I ask any particular artist, no matter what their field is, to make sure you protect yourself. You don't want to end up like the old superstars back in the day when I was growing up. They did all this work, and then somebody robbed them financially because they didn't protect themselves.
And it's funny you say that, because even when I'm doing the writing and I start working on something, it's something that my husband always taught me. Even though you have to do things, legally on paper and things like that, we do a thing called a poor man's copyright.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you mail your information back to you in a sealed envelope and you never open it.
Mm-hmm.
So in case, Paul, something happens or whatever in the future, some documents got misplaced or whatever, whatever happened.
Sure.
Then that way you have your poor man's copyright, and you can prove that you had this information first.
Because that stamp on there will prove it.
That's it.
This was done 5-6 years ago. We didn't just do this yesterday.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we do first before we do anything else.
That's wonderful.
Right. So you get that base covered, and then later on, as you grow more into the music or the particular song, you get it copyrighted through Washington.
Once we finish it, yes.
The correct way, because you got to do stuff the right way, and in order to profit and make your money and make your mark. You don't want nobody stealing your stuff. Here on the Brittingham show, Charles Brittingham at News Talk Radio, we try to put out relevant information and news that our listeners can use. And we want them to know that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And that's what get a lot of us in trouble, doing things the wrong way. You do all of that hard work and then don't protect your creativeness, what you created from the interim, like music. Now, what comes first when you're writing, Sheila? Is it the lyrics or the melody?
Usually with me is writing down the lyrics. I usually start writing something down first. I have had a situation where someone's given me the music, and then I start putting the words to the song. But most of the time, in my case, if I'm sitting down writing something, I'm writing words first, and then the melody comes.
All right, now you said something earlier about anybody can write. And I tend to agree with you on that. I do a lot of writing myself. But the problem is, how many of you can write and sing the music or the songs that you know what I mean, to make those words dance?
That's true.
And that's,
that's true. Not everyone has that gift. I think that's a gift. I really do. I believe it's a gift. And it kind of had to be drawn out of me because I didn't think I had that. I figured, somebody could write the music and just hand me words and I'll just sing it. I know I can do that, But when it comes to the creativity part of it, that's where the real art is right there. That creativity, because then it's coming from yourself. It's coming from you.
Well, you're absolutely right, because in the past, there's been a lot of famous artists that couldn't write crap. They had to hear a demo first from somebody else to sing it. So, I mean, you protect yourself in all ways, the whole thing. It's really amazing how we have a lot of people. Now, we're getting ready to take a break, but when we come back, we want you to explain to us, some more things you've been doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Charles Brittingham Show right here on News Talk, 1450 AM, or 1450, as we like to say here, News Talk, WILM. We'll be right back after this short but important message. Stay tuned. And we are back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in and sharing your time with us this evening. You're listening to the Charles Brittingham Show, and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Mr. Linwood Jackson, and our special guest is Miss Shaila Coley. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
And we're talking about she's giving us some information on how she got started in the music business. And I believe, did we get to the point to ask you, was you a local Delawarean?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm actually from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Whoa, Southern girl.
Yes.
Red beans and rice, huh?
Yep.
But you've been in Wilmington, Delaware for a while, right? Or in Delaware for a while, right?
Since 2000.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I moved from Wilmington, North Carolina. I actually went to the same high school as Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Laney High School. Of course, he's a little older than me, so.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little older than me. And then I moved to New York, and that's pretty much where I started getting more into the recording aspects of singing. You know, I did a lot of shows with the jazz band and school and Laney Jazz Band, and played the clarinet and, things like that back in the day when I was younger.
Well, yeah. We all wore a younger person's clothes, I like to say. Now, doing all this travel, is that when you met your husband, or did you meet him in North Carolina? Which one was it?
It's funny how I met my husband. My mother and his mother were best friends. They actually used to live together, but I didn't know my husband Rick at all. When I moved, my mother moved to North Carolina to raise me, and his mom moved. I guess he lived in New York at the time. So so far apart, but I only knew his mother by name. I knew that she had a real good friend in New York, that kind of thing.
Right.
And when I moved to New York, she was the one that picked me up from the airport. And I pretty much later on I was introduced to Rick. I met him at his mother's house.
Oh, that's a beautiful story.
It is.
That's a beautiful. That sounds like a song to me.
Yeah. And I had no idea he was into music. He had no idea I was into music. I just met him like that, and we became really, really great friends. And
that's wonderful.
Went from there.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're talking about Mr. Rick Coley, music promoter and owner of Now That's Entertainment, along with his wife, who we're speaking with, Miss Shaila Coley. Did I get that correct?
That's correct, and I'm also called the Songbird.
The Songbird of the duo. Now, does Rick sing as well?
Yes, he does. Actually, he's gonna kill me, but he's actually on Emotional Makeup. There's one song that he did on there, and believe it or not, when the kids hear the CD, that's the one they like the most.
Wow, is that you're talking about your upcoming CD?
No, this is my very first one.
Your first CD. Now, how many CDs do you have actually?
It was Emotional Makeup. Then I had a single entitled Shadows. Shadows, you can find that on YouTube now. Shadows is on YouTube. It's Sheila's song Shadows. On YouTube, you see the video. I believe you might have seen that.
Yes, I have.
Right, that was the very first single, actually, that I did. And then I did Emotional Makeup. Then after the Emotional Makeup, I started working with Rick Benning. I did Boundless. And he's from Reading, PA, with Fine Arts Records. And now I'm working with another producer, Nate Hall. He's also a singer.
Okay, and the title to be released soon.
And that's soon to be released. Right now, Move With You is out there. You can get Move With You on www.sheilasongbird.com. And it's up, because I love ballads. I'm always singing the slow songs. That's my favorite. And everyone says, Sheila, you need something upbeat, something, that we can dance to. So there we go. We got Move With You, and believe me, everyone loves it.
So you have a broad range of your genre. What do your R&B? You sing blues, and
jazz,
and jazz, and do you do gospel music?
No, I don't do gospel. I am trying to see if I can get into country. Believe it or not, I love country music.
All right now.
That is something that I'm looking into.
Well, that's not going to be a big jump, and I do believe that because jazz, blues, and country are all along the same lines. It's just different tempos.
Yeah,
all of those songs have something sad to say.
And they hit home. Those are the ones that hit home.
You'll be surprised how many black artists do sing country.
Yeah, it seems easy to me. I don't know why. It feels comfortable, and I think that's pretty much what it is when artists are singing or trying to get into the business. Find something that's comfortable for you.
Right.
Don't let nobody put you in a certain category. Find what's comfortable for you because that's what makes the sound. And everybody can tell. They can tell if the artist is being made to sing something. It's one thing to be made to sing something and to sing something that fits you, that's comfortable.
Well, everybody don't have those high levels. And if you try to sing those high levels on a long period of time, you got a problem if that's not your natural goal, your natural voice.
Right.
Now, every now and then, maybe in the middle or the end of a song, you can hit a high note. But, to constantly do it for 2 or 3 years and you're not comfortable, you got a problem when you go out there and try to sing live.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
It kind of reminds me.
A lot of lip sync.
Exactly. It reminds me of like a lot of these rappers out there nowadays. I know some of those guys and ladies, they don't fit the mold for rappers. But they're doing it just because that's what's, hot right now or whatever. And it just doesn't seem right to me. I'm thinking, dang, man, that person needs to be really singing.
Right, I agree. I agree 100%.
And they're doing things that they don't. Tell us, Sheila, who are some of some named performers you performed that we may recognize?
Wow, some performers I have performed with. Well, I like to start out with talking about the Manhattans because of them, that's how I became the Songbird. I had the opening show with Sunny Business, Manhattans, and he didn't know my name, so he just said, "Hey, you, the Songbird," and ever since then, that name stuck to me, so that's what I've been going with.
Is that a trademark name?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's me.
And the reason I asked that because I've heard other people try to use that name, but it wasn't trademarked to them.
Oh, okay.
And it's maybe because you you already had a trademark.
Right. Yeah. So it's Sheila Songbird.
Now, and so you were telling us some of the performers you performed with on stage over the years.
Okay, and over the years, wow, it's been a lot. The Temptations, Persuaders, Manhattans. We did, oh wow, so many.
I know. You said the
Stylistics. Who else?
Ray Goodman and Brown.
Ray Goodman and Brown. Larry Graham. I just recently did.
My man, Larry Graham. You're reaching back now. I kind of like all those groups you're talking about. That's part of my era now.
I'm telling you, Britt, they do some good, clean shows. I've been to about 3 or 4 of them. You guys work along with my cousin Deborah Farrell. Of course, I'm gonna give a shout out to Deborah down in Philadelphia. And Sheila, tell us about some of the shows you have coming up with Now That's Entertainment.
Oh, okay. Well, Now That's Entertainment have a few shows. I'm not in all of the shows that Now That's Entertainment does. But Rick Coley does, well, we have a few things coming up. We have on July 13th, we have a black tie formal with an artist. Her name is Peggy Murphy. She recently had a CD out, and I don't know the name of her CD. But she will be singing there that night at Celebrations on Market Street, 340 South Market Street. And that's coming up on July 13th. And then we also have a White Diamond Night Out. There's another performer that's going to be performing is Lisa and Kevin. They're going to be performing there that night. August the 10th, and that's at Celebrations. These are pretty much smaller events.
So those, I'm gonna cut you off a little bit. We're up against a break shortly. But you did mention Celebration on Market. Our good friend Mr. Tony down there, the chef, celebrity chef. He's been on our show a couple times.
Yes, he's very good.
But so we'll look for you. You guys can look for her shows at Celebrations. We'll be right back after this short message.
Okay.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Charles Brittingham Show, and we're on WILM 1450, and that's News Talk Radio. We are here with a special guest who's a singer and performer. She's a business management or in business with Now That's Entertainment with Mr. Rick Coley. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Shaila Coley here on with us in the studio, and she was just telling us about some of the great events that they have coming up in the tri-state area, not only in Delaware, but in New York and Jersey as well. Sheila, please continue. Tell us, you were saying that you had performances coming up at Celebrations on Market here in Delaware. What are some of the other shows you have coming up?
Okay, well, one of the other shows that Now That's Entertainment has coming up is on November the 16th, 2013. That's going to be on Blue Magic, and that this time it's in New York, Thomasina's Catering Hall in St. Albans, New York. Then we also have a New Jersey event Now That's Entertainment has, and that's going to be the Stylistics, November the 23rd, 2013.
Great. And what are some of the price ranges that you charge to get into these shows?
Well, the show that's in New York is a sit-down dinner, so the price for that will be $65, and that's at a catering hall. The Stylistics is a theater style. That's going to be at the Scottish Rite Theater, so the prices are $45, $55, and $65.
And what about the show you have at Celebrations?
Okay, the Celebrations show, August the 10th, that's the White Diamond Night Out. That's $35. And that's also dinner and dancing with entertainment.
With entertainment, not bad for $35.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, that's you should have some sellout crowds with this, because we do follow the food and follow good entertainment, because that's one thing I always say: laughter, humor, and music is universal language. No matter where you come from, you can understand good music and good food.
You know, that's funny that you mentioned laughter, because I failed to mention that we did do a show with Sinbad.
Okay.
We just recently did a show with Sinbad, and those people laughed till they couldn't laugh no more. People had to walk out because they said their head was hurting so bad from laughing. So now I think that's a good thing. It was a time of laughter, and hopefully we'll get to have Sinbad back once again.
And let us. He started pretty good too in one of those TV talent shows years ago, and he won it, and he never looked back. I mean, yeah, he took a hiatus for what, close to 5 or 6 years, and then he's been doing some things. Wrote a lot of more stuff, and now he's back out there. That's really great. I'm just going to piggyback off what Linwood said a few minutes ago about some of the artists you work with. Those are some really talented people you're working with, and I know that when you and your husband are making these negotiations, you got a lot of work ahead of you trying to make that thing work.
Yeah, he does all of that. I'm pretty much the one in the background, but Rick Coley's the man behind the, as far as Now That's Entertainment, putting it all together with his partner, Nina Harris. You know, they work together very well, and, doing all the negotiating. I don't do that part.
Yeah. You just hold the checkbook.
I don't deal with that stuff, but he's the one behind all of that.
Now, Sheila, you named some artists that you guys have come. You said Sinbad. Let's not forget about Mr. Lacey, the original Sandman. At Showtime at the Apollo, I know you've worked closely with him as well. These are comedians and performers, ladies and gentlemen. You guys offer good, clean fun and no bad language at any of your shows.
That's correct. We have another comedian also, Keith Rockshell, who's from New York. We have C.P. Lacey. We've known C.P. Lacey going for over 20-something years now. And he's very clean. All of our entertainment. One thing about Rick Coley and Now That's Entertainment, he makes sure that he speaks to all the artists before they get on stage. Because if you look at the TV today, you see that sex sells. That's it. that's what they're selling. You know, they have no clothes on, they're dancing and, you know, doing all kinds of things. And this type of thing is what Rick Coley will not tolerate on any of his shows. So if anyone wants to come out with some clean, wholesome entertainment where they can bring their children, you know, whether it's comedy or music or whatever it is that he brings out on the stage, it's all clean, wholesome entertainment.
And you know, and that's really great because in back in my day, this I'm gonna call it X-rated stuff we're talking about was done in back rooms. I mean, you know, and the comedians like Bill Cosby and things like that, they was all up front, out front. It's the Red Skelton. It's the Red Fox and them used to do everything, you know, behind closed doors. But then it starts creeping out into the public because it's distraction, really. A lot of people do these type of things because they're not talented, you know. They don't have great jokes. They may stole somebody else's joke and they do something else to take your mind off of it. I mean, it's a big game out there, as you guys know. And my hat's off to you. My hat's off to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can laugh and have fun, but you can have it clean. You don't have to be vulgar. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to use profanity to have fun. You don't. So, and that's the whole motto of Now That's Entertainment, is to provide clean, wholesome entertainment for family.
That means putting your clothes on and speaking correctly. That's no right. Foul language at any of the shows. If you go to Now That's Entertainment, and that's what I love so much about what you guys are doing. You're setting the example, raising the bar, and we're going back a little bit in terms of cleaning up and having a good time with some good entertainment. Now, Sheila, tell me, if you had your choice, you could open up for any artist on tour right now, who would that be?
If I can open up to any artist?
Open up for any artist on stage, yeah.
Open up for any artist on stage? Oh, wow.
Now, I know you performed with a lot of them.
And I have performed with a lot of them. And it's so funny, you say open up for. I probably want to just sit in the audience and watch.
Yeah.
Now, see,
it would be Celine Dion. Celine Dion, and believe it or not, I'm a fan of Stephanie Mills.
Why you say believe it or not?
I mean, not everybody. I love Stephanie. She hasn't. I don't think she's come out with anything recently, but I just love her voice.
Sure.
I just love her voice.
Speaking of those levels I was talking about, she's one of them people that can hit different levels. And you know, and that's what made people fall in love with her. Now, we brought her here about 8 years ago, and she was like, that was like her first outing in 2 or 3 years, and we had her here in Pike Creek Valley. And and she did a pretty good job, and she explained to the people, she said, you haven't heard from me, but I'm not going, you know.
Right.
And then she's a little comedian too. She did a few jokes between songs. But she's pretty good.
I love her voice. And the reason why I said believe it or not, because many people haven't heard from her, or many people don't know, she's an older artist, you know, not the ones that are out today, you know, right now.
Right.
Or that's in the mainstream that everybody's seeing, pretty much.
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying, Sheila. I've seen you perform on stage, the way that you enter the stage, the way you perform and command the crowd and grab their attention right from the jump. Is akin to the artist that you just named, so it's obvious to me how you who you look up to as mentors and how you get your stage presence from. I see that Celine Leon and Stephanie Mills are great entertainers. You said country western. I can see how you work in the crowd very well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Sheila the Songbird Coley, you will know her. She got 4 CDs out right now, and you can find them. Tell us your contact information real quick one more time. How can we find your music?
You can find Move With You on www.sheilasongbird.com. For any entertainment for the future, you can contact Now That's Entertainment or Fine Arts Records, which is with Rick Benning and Rick Coley at 866-773-2344.
And I know you're on YouTube as well with Sheila Song Shadows.
Yes.
On YouTube. We're coming up on break. Again, man, these segments go so fast. But ladies and gentlemen, we're listening to Miss Sheila Coley, the Songbird, vocalist, recording artist. She writes songs, and she's given us some great information on how you can get started. Sheila will be right back after this break, and you can tell us more about what you guys got going on over at Now That's Entertainment with your husband, Mr. Rick Coley. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the short message.
And we are back. You're listening to the Charles Brittingham Show right here on News Talk 1450 on WILM Radio. I've been delighted, Linwood, listening to our guest today, and she's given me information I never dreamed of. And she named some of these groups that, I used to dance to, man, go to dance halls, sing. So how about finishing the interview with our guest?
All righty, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Britt. She brought up a lot of names that we, haven't heard from in a while. And Now That's Entertainment is bringing them to the tri-state area and keeping them out there, showing our young folks that they can have some clean, fun, and entertain without using all these crazy words and dressing out of their mind. We're talking to Shaila Coley, and from Now That's Entertainment, of course, with Mr. Rick Coley, her husband and partner, and she was just telling us about a lot of tips and to get in the music industry today. And Sheila, what advice would you have for someone who would like to become a singer or songwriter like yourself?
Well, I would tell anyone that's trying to get into the business, the music business, and especially our young people, to focus on their education first, of course, your family responsibilities, and then your art. It's very difficult, to make it in the industry today, and to always have something that you can fall back on as you pursue your dream or whatever your future career is. My mom used to always tell me, I know you can sing, and you can sing, and I believe that. But always find something else. Find something else that you can fall back on, just in case if you don't make it there, But you don't want to just put that. I've seen many artists where that's it. That's their main focus. This is all I'm going to do. I'm going to be a star. You can't do that. You have to find something else. Get educated. Educate yourself. Do something else while you're pursuing that dream, because it's very hard, like I said, to get into the music business is very difficult. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's trying to do it. And there's a lot of competition.
And a lot of times, especially in your business, a lot of times people fail. It's not their fault. I mean, the way it's dog-eat-dog world out there, sometimes you just didn't climb up the ladder, quick enough.
Right.
But we say that in sports too, Sheila, is that your last play could be your last play. So you always have to have something to fall back on. Your education has to be something you fall back on, because you're not going to play forever. And what are you going to do when you retire if you don't have nothing to fall back on, if you are successful to go that far?
Right.
I mean, especially in today's world with technology the way it is. I mean, the history of your business, people used to put demos in the trunk of the car and go from station to station and sit there and play it. Nowadays, it's around the world in a couple seconds as soon as you put it out there. So there's a lot of things out there you have to learn and do. And we interviewed a lot of guests on this show over the years, and you might think I'm kidding you, but I'm going to give it to you straight, Sheila. Every time we ask that question, how do you get somebody else to follow in your footsteps, or what should a youth do? Education is the first thing people say that they must maintain. And I'm glad you said it today.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's just the truth.
Right. That's just the truth.
And Sheila, tell me, Britt was just saying how, you put something out and it goes all over the world via the technology today. What do you think the impact of Facebook and the websites and all of that has on artists today in terms of getting your music out there and changing the game, so to speak?
Well, I think technology is really good for what it's for. If you use it in the right way, it can really help you to expand. And, of course, through Facebook now, you can find people from the past you haven't seen and you can't remember when, and you can get those supporters that way, dig up the people from that supported you in the past and, follow up that way as far as the music is concerned. But, like I said, Facebook is good. There's a lot of different, everyone's doing Instagram now. It's so many different things that you can do to keep people up with you, to keep them up with what you're doing.
That's right. It's like right now time. You can get on Twitter and people can keep up with their favorite artists like instantly, you know. And I know when I purchase tickets from you guys, I get online, like I buy my tickets through PayPal, through your site there, you know, to go to some of your shows. So technology does play a big part in music and anything else as well as today. That's why I asked you earlier if you wrote your songs on the or tablet, but you're still doing that the old-fashioned way. Now, tell me, do you act? Are you on stage in theater? Any?
No, not. That's funny. I haven't tried that yet. I won't say that it's something that I probably couldn't do, but that hasn't been something I've thought about.
Well, you should think about it. I know I do a little acting myself. You can find my work, by the way, on clinwoodjackson.com. I'll put that out there. And I know that in theater nowadays, if you can sing and act, it's like a double-edged sword. You know, acting alone is not it anymore. You need to be multi-talented to have something else to fall back on. Unfortunately, I don't sing that well. So I had to come on the radio and talk to people who do, like yourself. So you're looking to get into acting to broaden your singing, I suppose.
Well, maybe one of these days.
Come on, Sheila. I got an acting gig for you. That's where I'm going.
That sounds good.
All right, so tell us your contact information one more time. You're on Facebook we can find you on Facebook.
Sure. On Facebook, you can find me as Sheila Songbird.
You're on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Sheila Song Shadows on YouTube.
Can you speak up just a little bit, Sheila?
I'm sorry. Sheila Songbird on YouTube. Also, Sheila Songbird on Hard Times. That's all on YouTube. I have two videos.
Okay.
And www.sheilasongbird.com is where you can hear the new song, which is Move With You. We have a website, www.studio5.com.
Studio5.com. So I guess that would be your main place for our listeners to go to and can find out most of all of your information.
Right, that's correct.
Okay, so can you repeat that one more time? Studio5?
Studio5, STUDIOSA.com.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, and you can find all you need to know about Miss Sheila, the Songbird Coley. And Now That's Entertainment with her husband and partner, Mr. Rick Coley. They had a lot going on out there, and you don't want to miss any of their shows.
Well, I just decided, Sheila, while I'm listening to Linwood and you right now, and I just decided on a couple of these shows you got coming up to buy several of these tickets and put them as a contest here on the show.
Okay.
And let people, give them some easy questions to answer if they get it. Hey, you get to go to such and such a show on such and such a night. Compliments, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
I just decided that just now.
Oh, well, wonderful. I'm sure Now That's Entertainment will be happy to hear that.
Yeah. So what we'll do, in the future, I'll work, I'll work it out with you guys on what shows we're talking about, and you give me all the more details again,
And I did leave one show out. I forgot. We have I know people love crabs.
Crabs?
We have, yes,
Yeah,
crabs.
absolutely.
We have a crab fest also at Celebrations, August 17th. And those tickets are $55. It's also, I don't know if you ever heard of the No Notes show. They're going to be doing their launch party that night.
All right, now, sounds good. Now, any closing remarks you'd like to leave for your fans and our listeners before we close this segment?
Well, I just wanted to say if you decide that you want to be in the music business, just be true to yourself, meaning you don't let anyone change you. Your dress, your speech, your attitude, it all means a lot in the world today, and just being who you are.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's what we say when we ask people when they go and doing an interview, a job interview. Your first 30 seconds means a lot. You could be not hard because of the way you talk and dress.
That's it.
Well, Sheila, you know, it was a pleasure speaking with you. We want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us on the show. We'd love to have you. At any time you or Rick got something going on, please let us know so we can let our listeners know. Okay?
Thank you so very much. I appreciate being on the show.
All right.
My pleasure, and thanks for meeting you.
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to WILM 1450 News Talk Radio. We'll be right back after this message.